So it's finally happening. Or is it? We don't really know. 2020, wow. When you watch this back sometime in the future, you wouldn't believe the year that we've had. The year of COVID-19, the pandemic that caused the world to lock down and quarantine, and oh my days.
We've suspected it for quite some time, but now it's official. England has the highest level of excess mortality in Europe.
From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home.
Stay at home to help slow the spread of coronavirus.
Across the UK, the eerie sight of airports turning into parking lots.
Stop all non-essential contact with other people.
The border between Victoria and New South Wales is being closed for the first time since the Spanish flu pandemic, and that was over a century ago.
We've just started August, and for the first time in 7 years, we've not had a holiday planned. We travel 3 to 4 times a year, and me sometimes more than that if I'm working abroad. So to go from that down to nothing, I'm just itching to travel.
The government is to make it easier for British holidaymakers to travel to much of Europe this summer, including the hotspots of Spain, France and Greece.
I'm trying to make up for the fact that I've not been anywhere this year, and with Penny being so young, I mean my daughter's coming up to 6 months old now, so it's a bit risky to be travelling by plane, eating in restaurants, gathering in airports. So we've been quite stuck indoors. And then Rachael had an idea. She said, rather than fly somewhere, why don't we just drive somewhere? And I was like, do you know what? That's not a bad idea. So we plotted a trip to France, our nearest and dearest country. Our intention was to see sort of the west side and the beaches and stuff. But as we started plotting the trip, we realised that by the time it takes to go down that far, down to France, and to get back, this is looking to be a 2-week trip. And then we thought, well, if we're going that far south, why not just circle around and see more of France? So we're going to be going down the south side, in towards the east, up through Switzerland, back into Strasbourg in France, and then back home. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. So the reason for this vlog is that despite the pandemic, it's still risky to be traveling. And even as I'm speaking, Spain is currently going through a second wave. The UK government have shut down all flights heading to Spain. So with Spain being literally next door neighbours with France, we don't know if we can still go. If we don't, then this video is going to be pointless and you'll never get to see it. So assuming you're watching this video, then you can assume that everything was okay and we went to France. But even if we get to go, we still don't know if there are going to be any restrictions. We don't know if partway through the trip we have to come home. We won't know if we have to quarantine. At the moment we don't, but that might be something we have to do when we come back. We don't know. We just don't know. Even when the trip begins, what's going to happen. We just have to constantly keep an eye out and be vigilant. What's great about the regions we're travelling to is that there's far fewer cases of coronavirus, so there's far less risk of catching it. We're staying in apartments, not hotels, so there'll be far fewer people to come into contact with. We're also self-catering as well, so we're not relying on restaurants to go and eat, so we'll literally make a dash to the supermarket, get back, wipe everything down, and we've got food there for a couple of days at least. And of course, getting to all these places, the day trips, that sort of thing, will be in my own vehicle, so we're not relying on public transport and, further risking catching COVID. So the next step is packing our cases and just really preparing for the trip.
There are signs of a second wave of the pandemic in parts of Europe. The UK, by comparison, has 15 cases per 100,000. France has a similar rate with 16 cases per 100,000, and Germany, despite official warnings of a spike in infections, is even lower with just 9 cases per 100,000 people.
Our headlines today. France is added to the UK's quarantine list, along with the Netherlands and Malta.
while the current rate of infection in France is 32.1 cases per 100,000 people, while the UK has 18.5 cases per 100,000.
The Foreign Office is now warning against all but essential travel to France. If you do decide to travel, you'll face a 14-day quarantine when you return. Those with holidays booked are now weighing up whether to go or cancel.
It means that if you did decide to travel and did endure that quarantine, your travel insurance may not be valid.
In the only way that I am, I'm always very positive about trips. So I'm still clinging on to that hope that maybe within a few weeks there could be some change that enables us to travel to France. I guess we'll just have to keep our eyes on the news, keep our eyes on the travel advice, and just see whether anything changes. The reason why there's been an increase in cases of COVID across Europe is because a lot of countries have increased the amount of testing they're doing. So of course, the more tests you do, the more you'll find people are positive or negative. The death rate's still pretty low, so it's just about perspective. So despite everything going on, we've decided to continue with our trip to France, and we're now 4 days from the trip, and then this happened. It was a Sunday evening. We had a lovely day out at the in-laws. Vibes were good, food was good, company was good. On the evening, we went home. Our daughter had already gone past her bedtime, so we gave her a quick bath, put her down to sleep, and she was conked out for the night. My wife, wonderful woman that she is, came downstairs in the dark and missed the last step. But she's convinced she heard a bit of a crunch and she didn't want to risk causing more damage, and now she's gone into hospital to get a scan. Hopefully it's nothing serious, that she's just sprained it, and the crunch that we heard, I'm hoping, was just some floorboard creaking, you know. You try and downplay it in your mind what it could possibly be, and you just hope, you know, that it's not going to be anything serious. So right now, I'm at home looking after our baby, while my wife has gone into hospital with her mum at 11 PM at night. Oh, God. I mean, if she has broken her foot or her leg somehow, could this stop us going on the trip? She could have her leg in a cast, unable to walk anywhere. I don't know. Oh my days. I'll try and keep you updated through the night. We'll see what happens. Finally, some good news. Rachel's just got back and she's okay. No fracture, no break. So a bit of rest for her now. Hopefully, by the time we get going to France, she'll be at least able to walk on it better and not have it really interfere with the holiday. So that's some relief. Oh my days. Just finished packing the car, and I gotta say, everything just fits. Don't know how I've done it, but look behind me, a cool box, got food, snacks, bags, the camera bag. We're supposed to be leaving at 8 o'clock, and it's now, let's see, I'm feeling pretty good, to be honest. 7:56. Oh yes, we're doing very good for time. I'm really pleased that we've actually stuck to the time. Amazing in-car entertainment here.
We set off, embarking on our 3,000-mile road trip.
So we're at Oxford service station. I had an energy drink just to keep me going and just to keep me topped up. The problem with energy drinks is that it works through my system quite quickly. So I had a massive wee. So it came at a good time. Yeah, so just having a quick stop now. Just give us a bit of a break. Penny a bit of a break as well, because she's been cooped up in the seat all morning. Although she keeps herself entertained with the in-car entertainment. I want to say thank you to my mother-in-law for making these masks for me. We've got quite a few actually, quite a few designs. Rachel will be back in a second, then we can crack on to Folkestone for our Eurotunnel to France. Just being. Oh! Don't be sick. Oh, lovely. Well, I'm on his leg. Beautiful, aren't you? Yeah. Oh, so cute.
Did you shake that up?
No. Could you look at your cuff?
Sick down. I saw it going up a little bit and I thought, oh, it might calm down. It kept going. I was like, no!
Oh, God. Could you put some clothes on you? Oh, my God. Look at you.
After driving 2.5 hours and looking awesome doing it, we finally arrived at the Eurotunnel in Folkestone. This was our first time using the Eurotunnel, so we were very excited to be boarding the train.
Train has been boarded. It is the earlier train, so it means we get a bit of a head start on the journey in France, which is good. We've actually started the journey. France, here we come!
Are you looking forward to your holiday? Yeah!
Didn't think this trip would happen. A couple of weeks back I was like, the whole shutdown of Europe again, and that was just like, oh, it would be us, wouldn't it? It would be us. So glad that we were able to finally go on this trip. Don't press the horn. Oh, and she was sick on me. Oh no! Oh no! What happened there then? Ah, that's nice. Yeah, you can play with my shirt. Yeah, you can play with my shirt.
We hope you had a pleasant crossing with Eurotunnel, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
We are here in France. Just got off the train and pulled into the nearest stop, which was a fuel station. Where we're staying is about 2.5 hours from here. This is the beginning of our French journey.
Well, I was just something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be weird looking back at this in the future. The year of COVID and the vlogs with the mask on, but such is life.
With such a long drive on day one, we made sure Penny had plenty of in-car entertainment to distract her. So far, the views and the weather was a lot like the UK, the only difference being that we were driving on the opposite side of the road.
You drive the car? Beep beep, beep beep. Come on then. Don't push the horn.
After Penny had her turn driving the car, we made our final stint into our first destination of the Havre.
Well, we made it to our first place of accommodation. I'm going to have some food, I think, in the form of whatever we can find. Feed Penny.
Just licking the laughing go off.
This really is just like an overnight stop, and then we're off again the next day.